Peace, folks, and cheers. Mark, Flying Health Coach. Happy, again, as always, insert day, whatever day you watch this video. I'm happy that you're here. Hope you're happy that you're here. Hope that, as always, I do these videos to make you think a little bit differently, crack some jokes, make you smile, make you think, go down some different paths in life, right? Do some different research, find new resources, right? That's the whole point of these videos. And hopefully, again, the ultimate reason is to help you become the best version of you, whatever that means to you, right? And that's all that matters. So, haven't posted for a long time. I just got back from Carlsbad, California, where I got done doing my ATP, my Airline Transfer Pilot Certification in a multi-engine in the Citation CJ1. Awesome experience for any aviators or pilots that watch this. If you ever get a chance to go to Loft in Carlsbad, had a good experience at Flight Safety 2 last year, but Loft, very personable, small class sizes, amazing instructors. One of my instructors was actually the actual Iceman from Top Gun, where they got the stories from. It's awesome. Great experience, but neither here nor there. So haven't posted in a bit, so I'm back today, and I want to talk about values and rules. More so on values and why they're important. So if you ever want to get a chance to rewrite your life, if you don't know who you are, a lot of times it's because we don't know what our values are, but subconsciously we make decisions and have actions based on those decisions, based on our value system, right? And I was in the plane ride down to San Diego, and I was reading the book, again, Waking the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, and I got to thinking to myself as I was reading these values, I was like, a lot of the days and this is just a backstory here, a lot of days I look in the mirror and like, I don't know who I am. Like, I don't know why I do what I do. I'm trying to rewire my brain here and think differently and be like this new person. But to do that, I don't even know who the old me is and what do I value. So it got me thinking, and I honestly couldn't even write down my top 10 values. I had to look them up on Google, like what are values in humans? I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I wrote down what I thought my initial values were. And that was a starting point. And that's where we're going to start this video, and we're going to progress on from there. So grab a pen and paper if you don't already have one. Start thinking of your value systems, and I'll kind of dive into it a little more as we go here, okay? So, backstory before we get into this, right? So backstory on my values. We're going to get a little personal here today, folks. A little bit personal, so hope you're ready for that. I always feel awkward when I do my weird smirks on here. But anywho. So, value systems, right? What is it that you value? So, like I said, for the longest time, I'd look in the mirror and I would ask myself, like, who is Marcus? Who is Mark? Like, what am I doing on this giant spinning ball in the middle of bum F nowhere? You know, yeah, I like flying planes. I like aviation. I like helping people. I like seeing people smile. I like these certain things, but why do I do what I do? You know, and for the longest time, I always thought like, God, I need to move out of here. I need to have a drastic change in my life, which for some people that is a good thing, to have a big drastic change and to go move somewhere brand new and to reinvent yourself, right? But sometimes a drastic change doesn't have to be this big monumental thing. It can be something as small as just writing down your values. And let's talk about that's important. So it's important because if you don't understand your value system, you can't understand who you are and why you make certain decisions, right? So what are values? What are your values? I'm going to got my whiteboard right over here, so I'm going to bring up my old values. And only a couple of them. I have 10, but I just wrote down 3 because of size constraints. So, values, right? You know, you guys can see this in my wonderful handwriting. So, my old values, right? So, I always thought my tip-top value was success, success and accomplishments. Below that was contributions, i.e., helping other people, teaching, mentoring. And then the third one was confidence, right? Because that's something I want to build for myself. So those were initially my old top 3 values: success and accomplishments, contribution, and confidence, okay? And how do I know this? Because so especially last 2 years really, I found myself when I was like in a rut or whatever, and I just wanted to do something, I would just go find like a new job and I'd find something else just to accomplish it, right? Because I had to accomplish something in my life. I always had to be doing something. Good example last year, right? When the whole Part 121 thing didn't work out for me, which again, I am eternally grateful for the fact that I got to redo that part of my life and get a second chance in my ATP, which I'm so thankful for and grateful for that I have it now. Sidetrack, sorry, it's still fresh, so I'm kind of excited about it. But point is last year there was a time where I got a job trying to sell insurance. It's important. Do I care about selling insurance? Hell no, I could care less. Tried that. I became a licensed insurance salesperson in Minnesota. Never did anything with it, but I accomplished it, right? So checking the box for that. Next, I got hired at Amazon to be an Amazon driver, right? I was just doing a bunch of random things just to feel accomplished, right? Because I had such I'll call it a monumental setback or failure in my life. I just had to do stuff just to block out that negative memory, right? So I felt like I was accomplishing something again. It didn't matter what it was. And then contribution and confidence, right? But the biggest one that I thought was really important to me was success and accomplishments. So after reading through the book and the chapter, I realized that I had an opportunity, and you do too, right? So I hope you're writing down some values as you're doing this, but you have the opportunity to we'll call it reconfigure your values, right? So I'm gonna put this, the work not the work I did, but the tactic, we'll just call it that. There's a better word for it, but we're gonna say tactic for now. So what I did was, after I read this chapter, I wrote down my top 10 values, right? And these are my old ones over here, i.e. old values. And I ranked them, right? I ranked them what I thought was most important for me, 1 through 10. There's only 3 here, but you get the gist of it. So I ranked them 1 through 10. And then I thought about, well, what do I want my life to look like? Like, why do I make decisions the way I make them? And I rewrote my values. I still had the same 10, but I reorganized them to what I truly am doing, which is my new values. My number 1 value that's always been there, and I realize this now, is love and connection. Number 1 value for me. Number 2 is contribution, and number 3 is success and accomplishments, right? Because what I realized deep down was that I was making most of my decisions based upon my value to have love and connection in this world, right? One of the big reasons I did the whole 121 thing last year is not because I wanted to be an airline pilot and fly in the airline world. It's because I wanted to support a family. I wanted to make money to support a family, to do X, Y, and Z thing, to make them happy, right? I did a video on this a while back. I did all that to make other people happy, right? Hence the old one, success and accomplishments, right? I had to accomplish that to actually suffice my true value of love and connection. But when I had a different hierarchy now, and I reestablished my new values, I was able to understand myself and why I make decisions the way I do, right? Because I valued love and connection so much, I would do things to get that in my life because I wanted it. But that was a way for me to understand myself. I'm like, oh, light bulbs go off now. I know why I do what I do. So this work, this tactic, right? It's a way for you just to discover why you do what you do, why you make the decisions that you make, right? But then you get a chance to reframe them and to put new values up at the top or older values at the bottom that don't serve you anymore, or not say don't serve you, but you're able to really look at your life and decide, okay, I'm doing things because I value these top 3 or top 5 things, right? Now I want to go on this other side, move away, right? So you have your values, why you do, what you truly value in life. So again, hope you have a pen and paper right now. You're writing this stuff down, right? Write your values down and then think about them, and then you can reframe them later. But let's get through this first. Before I go into the move away portion, always got to bring up, right? Don't forget to like and subscribe. I know it's a weird part of YouTube. I'm not a fan of it, but we're doing it anyway. So like and subscribe up there. Hit the notification button. See a little ding every time I post an awkward video on, spirituality and growth. And then put my book over here, right? So book's going to come over here. Flying Health Coach Guide, How to Un-F Your Life. Again, the book is a mix of a workbook, some quotes, some my life experiences of why I am the way that I am. It's just there for you to hopefully get a good laugh again, help make you think differently, do some work on yourself. It's free. You can get 13 or 14 pages for free if you go to link in my YouTube page. If you like what you read, awesome. It's for sale up on lulu.com for $6.99. If you don't like what you read, that's cool too, right? No harm, no foul. then as always, one-on-one health coaching, right? So let's put it up there, right? flyinghealthcoach@gmail.com. Feel free to shoot me an email. We can exchange contact information, and obviously I'm more than happy to have a phone conversation with you, do some health coaching. Again, I was a health coach for 10 years, board certified, to where I coached a lot of people, helped them across a lot of facets of their life. So would love to hear from you. Let's get back to the video again. So moving away, what does that mean? Well, we call these you're moving toward, or I should say Tony Robbins does, right? Things you want to move toward. I want to move toward love, connection, contribution, success and achievements, right? And accomplishments in my life. Well, it's moving away from failure and rejection. But let's take a look at something here, right? So once you get like your value system down, you also want to write down all the things you try to move away from, right? So what does that mean? So my old value system, right? My tip-top value used to be success and accomplishments, right? I had to succeed. I had to accomplish stuff. But if you look at failure is my tip-top moving away from emotion, right? So as they say, people will do more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure, and that's very true. So a lot of times in my life, I was so scared to fail because I felt the pain of failure, right? Or I was so scared of rejection that I never did things that I wanted to do to create a feeling of success and accomplishments, right? Because I had such a strong drive to move, for failure and rejection, because I knew that pain all too well, I was scared to succeed and I was scared to have accomplishments. But when you reframe your values of love and connection, right? And if I value love and I value connection, the pleasure of getting that is much greater than that pain, right? So now I'm able to abide by my new value system of love and connection because my fear of failure isn't near as high as it used to be, right? Because I have a new value system right now, right? So before, my fear of failure was so great, fear of rejection was so great, I wasn't able to focus on my what I thought was my number one value, success and accomplishments. When I rewrote them now, my new value system, my fear of failure and rejection wasn't really there anymore. It's still there. It's always a part of me. It never will be a part of you too if this is kind of what your system looks like. But the point is because I rearranged my values, I didn't have as much of affinity to feel the fear of failure anymore or fear of rejection because, again, the pleasure of getting what I truly want in my life easily overcame the pain of this. Does that all make sense? I hope it does, because this really helped a lot understand who I am, and it really made a lot of sense as to why I do what I do in my life. It really helped to rewrite who you are, right? So if you're struggling right now and you can't figure out who you are, and truthfully, like I said earlier in this video, I look in the mirror and I'm like, I don't know what my values are. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, right? Well, I do now. But the point is I spent a long time trying to figure out who is Mark? Who is this person, this meat suit right here, and what am I doing? Once I wrote down, got a list of values that I wrote down, all those 10 really resonate with me, right? I wrote them down, and then I put them, okay, where am I at right now? So this is where I used to be at, my old values, right? So I told you a story about, I just did things to accomplish them and feel successful. Wrote those down. What are my old values? Okay, well now, to live the life that I want, how do I have to reframe those values to live the life that I want, right? And I want to tell you guys a final story here as to why love and connection is my top one. So when I was in California, I got a chance to meet this awesome guy. We became pretty good friends, got a chance to meet his family. Super awesome connection. I'm super grateful for it. But when I got I'm going to come back to that. When I got my ATP yesterday, right, the airline transport pilot, the certificate I've been chasing now for the past year, thinking like, when I get that certificate, I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to be more confident and be more motivated, more successful. I'm going to have more of this, more of that, yada, yada, yada. Now, trust me, I was excited when I got that certificate. I was super jacked up. I felt just a happiness I hadn't felt in a long time. But that wore away really quickly. Why? Because that no longer was at the tip top of my value system. Now, granted, like I said, I'm still jazzed up right now knowing I get to go fly a citation and start to pursue something I've always wanted to do as a kid. So trust me, like that success and accomplishment is still high. Success and accomplishment is still high in the value system. But that's number one. So when I got my ATP, after those emotions died, I started thinking about like, I really thought I'd be way more jazzed up than this. Like I thought I'd want to celebrate and do this and do that, and I didn't want to, but it wasn't as high as I thought. And the reason is because a couple nights ago when I got the chance to hang out with my new buddy Nick and his family, grilling in the backyard, it was calm, peaceful, it was a beautiful night, and it was just so peaceful being around good people, having good connections, being around a family, and it made me realize like, man, like that's truly what I want right there, right? Success and accomplishments are great in life, and I'm sure a lot of us that watch this, and you too probably have that value system where they're up there somewheres and you want to accomplish and grow and achieve things. But when you really figure out what that, top one or two really is, other stuff's important, but you just realize like what really is important to you and what are the driving factors for what you do. The reason why I want to get my ATP again and to live that lifestyle is because ultimately I want love and connection. I want to be able to support my friends and the family and give back to people that have given to me, right? So that's the driving factor right there, is my value system. And because of that, my moving away, right, failure and rejection, now that I suffice a little bit this third one down here, success and accomplishments, to suffice my love and connection, I don't really have much of that fear of failure and rejection anymore. It's still there, but that pain is much more subdued now that I understand this, right? So the pleasure of having this and how I felt in those moments drastically outweighs the pain of feeling this. So I hope that helps. So takeaways, right? What can you do to recap it? Right now, go find the 10 things that you value, right? 10. Go write down we'll say 5 or 10, right? Write down 5 or 10 things that you value. Don't rank them yet, just write them down, right? Integrity, honesty, confidence, masculinity, femininity, whatever, right? Success, accomplishments, contributions, fulfillment, all that stuff. Write those down, right? Write the 5 or 10 things down. And then, based upon where you currently are right now, rank them in order, 1 through 5 or 1 through 10, right? And get a good look at them. Next to that, write down, okay, what things do I want to move away from? Failure, rejection, fear, anxiety, depression, loneliness, all that kind of stuff, right? And then kind of look to see, do those match up, right? Like I said earlier, if my number one value was success and accomplishments, but my number one moving away was failure, I got a messed up value system, right? I need to rewire that a little bit to where the pain of this is way reduced because the pleasure of this is way better. Okay, so you got your 5 or 10 written down, organize them to where you are currently at now, right? And write down what you're trying to move away from. But then, in a separate column again, go write down, to be my best version, to be my 2.0 version, who I want to be, what does that list have to look like, right? What do my values have to be for me to be the person I want to be? Rearrange them, right? And then put it up somewhere you see it every single day, right? See it every single day and really drill it in your mind, right? Then you're going to start to see yourself making different decisions, taking different actions. And as time goes, you're going to find that doing something as simple as this can help rewire your brain a little bit, understand you a little better, and you're going to find yourself changing your life and the lives of people around you. Hope it's helpful, folks. Have a great rest of the day. There, like sideways peace. Peace and cheers. We'll catch you later.